Hi everybody. Today it's just a little level 1 chest of drawers surface refinishing. You can do this. I started to, I'm going to refinish the face on these drawers. Um, One of the things I was thought about, I was just going to do this. It shouldn't really take that long. But then I thought, well, maybe some people, a lot of the do-it-yourself stuff has is more complex than a do-it-yourselfer might um, want to do. So this is one of those things that you can do pretty easily at home. Really, if you've got a space where you can make a little sawdust outside or something. Um, this is an old uh, chest of drawers that my wife purchased a few years ago. It works fine, and in fact, has nice. It's made of nice wood, um, but the finish is old and dark. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to sand this off with this little quarter sheet sander, and just put a coating on it. Let's see. You know, I'm not going to go with a full finish. I just want something simple and easy. So it's just sanded off and then put a finish on it. And I'm not doing a product endorsement here, but I've but I have found that this guy works pretty well. I think you can get that at Amazon or something, uh, or any similar product. All you're really doing is just trying to seal the wood, a little wax, and then seal it up. That's all you're really looking for. Um, so quarter sheet sander, and they call quarter sheet sanders that because you can just take a regular flat sheet. Just see here. So just a regular flat sheet of sandpaper, right? And when you fold it in half and then fold it in quarters, just take some scissors and cut it. That creates these little squares, and that fits on this sander. So, could not a lot of expense. So, what else to say about this? Um, the hardware, I'm going to take my Dremel tool and just polish that with um, a little steel brush. I have a little. Let me just grab that real quick. Let's see. Dremel tool. Where's my Dremel tool? And look around here. It's in here somewhere. I'll find that before I'm done shooting this off. Anyway, let's just get this started. I'll go time lapse, and then you'll be able to see how the two drawers contrast. So just a couple of minutes, really. This came off really fast. On the sanding, you don't really need to sand everything off. In fact, I'm not going to remove all the stains in the wood. I found that, well, I don't know, maybe a little bit more artistic, if I might say that. If you leave just a little bit of the discoloration uh, to taste, um, it will produce a more interesting look when you're done. So this is these little pulls. Just in this case, just a couple of little screws to take it out. I mean, you'll find all kinds of hardware on these old drawers, but either a Phillips or a straight screwdriver should remove them easy enough. Get out of there. So you can see how it's oxidized, discolored, and I'm not going to try to smooth this down all the way either. I'm going to leave it just a little bit pitted. I mean, don't want to take all of its character away. Put the screws back in here if I get it started. Here, that just just to keep them from getting lost. If you had a little tray or an old pill bottle or a cup or something, you want to be mindful that you don't lose this stuff, because sometimes they're hard to find replacement screws. All right, so we get that in there. I'm going to show. Okay, I've got the first front sanded, and I'm with rough sandpaper. I'm going to put a smoother sandpaper, higher or a lower grit or something, a higher number on the sandpaper, which is less coarse, to finish it up before I put the sealer on the wax. But I wanted to show in real time how quick it is with a 120 sandpaper to cut down that top. Okay, you can see there to your right, I didn't actually sand all the color off. So it was the same piece of sandpaper, just in real time. Oh, this if you're going to buy one of these little quarter sheet sanders, I personally like the kind that you push down to turn on. It gives me a little bit more, or gives the operator a little bit more control on the speed. And you push down harder and it cuts harder. So that could be good enough for you, depending on where you want to go with it, how much of a lightening you want to do on it. Just wipe off the dust. You see, it still has just a little bit of color, and when you put the wax on, it will darken. So, but I kind of like the way this texture goes on these boards. And oh, by the way, you'll notice I was mostly going up and down the grain of the wood. That will be less scratches. I'm going to take this down just a little bit lighter. The top, I'm just going to sand that by hand. I mean, I could use this with a cushion on it, but I'm just going to. This is so small amount. I'll just do that by hand. I'll do that, and then we'll get back to the next step. So for the hardware, I'm going to use the Dremel tool, and I hate to do product endorsement stuff. This is not a paid ad or anything. But a few years ago, I did buy a Dremel, and I got one that came with a plastic case because I don't really use it that much. But when I do use it, it's just the best thing going. Variable speed. In this case, I'm using a little steel brush. I'm just going to use this, to brush off the surface. And it's probably not the safest thing to do, but I'm just going to hold these by hand. So turn this on, and you can control, in this particular model, you control the speed here. So I'm going to set it at about 15, and the light. I'm just trying to reduce some of the surface oxidation. I hope you can hear me over the sound of this. I hope you can hear me over the sound of that motor. I'm just going to do lightly sand these. I hope the light will show what I'm trying to do. Just smooth it up a little bit and then just put them back on. That's it. Done deal. So, oops here. Don't do this by hand. Learn from my mistakes. Ouch, I hit my thumb right there. And, I mean, it didn't hurt that much, but I didn't have to do it. Now I've got the channel locks out and, much smarter. Okay, so I knew that really wasn't the smartest thing to do, to hold these by hand, and work it. You can see I nicked my thumb there. These are vice grips or channel locks. They're a little tool that's designed. You can adjust the close tension with this little screw. So I just use these to clamp on relatively tight, not crazy tight, but relatively tight on the tighten it down on the little stud there, and that kept my thumb and fingers out of the way of this little tool. So be smarter than me, and you won't get that little nick. I'm not going to try to completely clean these. You can probably see there's still quite a bit of pitting in there, but that's okay. I want it to still maintain its antique or aged look. And I think these must have had a gold paint or coating on them at one time. I've actually just sanded that off. Suppose you could retint them. I don't know how exactly. The difference to the backside. I'm not going to do the backside. Well, maybe I'll do the backside too, just a little bit, because that's where your finger would go when you're pulling them open. So just one more little safety thing is, get yourself a pair of some ear protection, and also, of course, when you're using any power tools, you should have some eye protection as well. You should have these in your shop anytime you're working with something. Just take care of yourself. Okay, now for the fun part, and see what kind of color these are going to take. So I cut it, I rough sanded it with 160, and then I went to a 320. So it's pretty darn smooth now. I just put a little wax on. It shouldn't take much. It should be way more than I need. And let's just see what that does. See, that's bringing out the yellow color. I know a lot of people are repainting these now, and that's a perfectly nice way to do it. It makes them look modern, but I'm pretty fond of the wood look. So, and this gives them a lighter color, so that they just blend in a little better without just painting them white, which is pretty popular, or a chalk finish. I like those finishes, but I'm pretty fond of wood, so that's what we're doing today. So there you go. I guess I should have done one before and then saved it for contrast. Well, maybe I can just overlay the shots from before to now. Hopefully this illustrates just how quickly, even with readjusting the camera and everything, this is less than an hour to do this. And this is the look I was going for. It's still slightly weathered looking, or aged, something like that, but a little lighter in color. It's just perfect for what I'm looking for. And then just put the pulls back on, and done deal. So I hope you've enjoyed this video. Be sure to like and subscribe. Um, Let me know if you like these kind of tips. I've been doing a lot of do-it-yourself music for the last few years and gotten away from the DIY house and homeowner stuff. Um, but I still like doing this. Gives gives me a sense of satisfaction to polish these in. And this is a wax product, so I'm doing a little extra rubbing. And it will harden over the next week and make a nice finish. Oh well, I could, and let me just grab another product I've got in here. I'm not going to use this today. Where is it? Clear. Oh yeah, this one. So this product comes in a spray can. You could spray this on, and actually you wouldn't put the wax on. You'd put a very, very light coat of stain and then carefully sand that off with, like 400 sandpaper or steel wool so that it's very smooth, no dust or anything on it. And then you just put this uh, clear sealer on, and you'd get a nice, upgrade furniture look. Just a tip. I'm going to leave it with the waxed wood. Okay. Thank you all. Take care. Wear your safety equipment. Just one parting shot of the whole chest of drawers. It's a little red with incandescent lighting, but that's an item found on the curb, refinished.